Hello, I'm Sami. I have set up this channel in the hopes to share and document my journey with bonsai. I originally found interest in bonsai when I was a child and went to a garden and seen their bonsai display. I first tried bonsai when I was in my teenage years. It was a disaster. I got a book from the library and a tree that I got cheap. Well, I think I got it free. And it died. I didn't know what I was doing. I seriously got into it about 15 years ago. But sadly, I had to get out of it about 8 to 10 years ago for various reasons. I have just recently got back into it, buying my first tree last fall, which was a maple, a Japanese maple. It was about 5 feet tall that I am now air layering. I figure I will show you in this video some of my trees that I have collected so far. Nothing I have is presentable in a finished, anywhere near a finished thing, but it's all work in progress. Here's my Chinese elm. I recently purchased this several weeks ago. I pruned the roots down and pruned the top, and I put it in a bonsai pot because I like the way the trunk is, so I'm not looking to develop the tree more than I need to develop the branches. So I just need to work on the roots, and I figured a bonsai pot would work for it at this point. I don't know if this will be the final, it'll be its permanent pot, but it'll be a good start, I think. Here is my Japanese maple butterfly, it's called. This has got about a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch trunk at the base, and I plan on thickening it up to about 1 inch to 1.5 inches for what size I want to make it. So it's got a ways to go, and it probably needs to grow some branches. I need to get some branches grown in at the bottom, but there's time for that, so I figure there's time. This will take some time to work on, but this is a recent, this I purchased and got mailed this week with 5 other trees. So this is a very recent thing, and it's just potted in a plastic basin that I got at the dollar store as a training pot. I mean, I figured for $1 it can't go wrong. Why pay a lot for training pot, I figure. Here we have another Japanese maple. It's called Sami. I think that's how it's pronounced. I'll try to put the name on the screen for you. It's spelled Sazanami. But another recent purchase. It's a little bent over, I've noticed, but I think I'm going to bend it somewhat. I like some of the bend, but I think it bends too much. And I like that it's got branches, a good amount of branches lower, so for what I'm doing, similar to the other one, again, it's got the similar size trunk to the last one, and I'm going for a similar size trunk, so it's got time to go for growth. Again, another one of my recent purchases, a Korean Hornbeam. My plans are just to, again, let it grow, thicken up the trunk, and I like the size of it kind of, but maybe a little bigger. But that's my plans for now. A lot of work to go. Another of my recent purchases. This is a weeping candy apple. Very rough tree. Nice trunk. Probably want to thicken up some more though. Needed a lot of structure built on it, but it's a nice start. We'll see where we go on this one. Here's a Shimpaku Juniper I bought. Not really sure what I want to do with this because I bought it thinking it was a different kind of juniper, so I mean, I now have it and I'll work with it and figure something out. I just don't know what to do with it at the moment because I was thrown off by being a different one than I thought. I got them confused. But it seems like a nice tree to start with. Here's my Trident Maple. It's got about a 3/4 inch trunk to it. And I put a trunk bender on it to give more of a bend to the bend that was already in the tree, but it was subtle, so I wanted more bend to it. So I added that, and it's gotta be cut down at some point. It's a little tall, and it needs a lot of growing out. I want a trunk that's probably about 2 or 3 inches, somewhere between 2 and 3 inches thick, so I got a lot of growing for that. So I've got a long time to work on what I'm exactly going to do with it. And when I repotted it into this pot, which none of these I repotted them, but I didn't really disturb the roots. I just needed them into bigger pots because they came in little 4-inch pots and they were falling over in the wind. So I figured they needed to be potted anyways. I just teased the roots a little bit to get them out because they were a little root bound, and I just repotted them to let them grow better. But I also planted this one at more of an angle, because it was straight and it turned, so I wanted it at a little bit of an angle. But I think it's a good tree to start. It's got years to go. Here we have a picture of my large maple that I'm air layering at the moment. I bought this last fall and overwintered it. And I'm going to take the top off and make that into a tree, because it's currently 5 feet tall, so it's a little on the tall side, but it should be a pretty good thing to start with. But it does need a thickening up of the trunk. It's got the trunk is a little thin on it, and then I'll still have the bottom part of it to maybe do something with in the future. And then here is where all the other trees will go in a few days. I just didn't want to put them there straight out of a box from being mailed in the mail 3 days. I wanted to give them time in the shade before I put them back into sunlight directly, so I gave them a little rest. But this is my bench, and then here are more of my trees. These were also purchased last fall. The one in the front on the right is a juniper that I'm going to make into a cascading juniper. The one behind it is a redwood. The one next to it in the back is a weeping willow that I purchased and chopped off the top, and that is what is in front of it, the top of that, as a cutting. The back one now has a branch that has been wired up as the new leader, which is off to the side, and I have to wire up, I think, again. And then the front one had a top that I chopped off, and a branch became its new leader. So that's where those are, just growing. I don't know what I'm doing with the redwood yet. That's just growing out. Now here's an apple tree that I am currently in the yard, that I'm currently air layering a branch. I just thought the branch would make a good, nice tree maybe. Had a good, fairly thick branch that make a good trunk. I had taken the thing off, the plastic off a couple days ago to see how it was doing, and it's just starting to get roots, so it was successful. So that's good. So another month or two I'll have that cut off and have a tree, and hopefully I can get it to survive through the winter like with the maple. These are my last trees, my Portulacarry afra. These are my only indoor bonsai I'm working on. They're not much yet. I'm working on them. They need to grow out. I didn't pay much for them. A couple of them are pieces off the other ones when I bought them. They're out here for the summer. Yeah, that would be the last of my trees.